Hey my you gals and my you dudes, I'm StevenTocher. This episode has taken me 6 months of rewriting and mustering the courage to shoot it. I know I look somewhat different than in the last videos, and it's only because it was a process I had to go through. I was able to do weigh-in videos from week to week, as you'll see in the future, and throughout the entire of Season 1. But this video in particular has been hard for me as I feel like I'm laying it all out there. So here goes. I want to share with you a few very low moments in my life that may help you better understand what I was going through over the years, as well as the moments and tools that started me on this journey. Going into grade 9 at the age of 14, I was already at my full height of around 6 feet 2 inches tall, or around 188 centimeters, and I weighed around 300 pounds, or about 136 kilograms. Throughout the next 5 years, my weight went up and down like a yo-yo, from around 210 pounds when I was sick to around 290 pounds when I became extremely depressed in my graduating year in 2003. A few years later, in August 2005, when I took this photo, I was 265 pounds. My body fat percentage was around 34%, which meant, according to the BMI scale, I was obese. Now, before I continue, the BMI, or body mass index scale, is not 100% correct. It cannot take into account your muscle mass or your skeleton structure. So don't allow these vague results on this scale to discourage you. The BMI scale is just to get you thinking. I'll be doing a video about the BMI scale and different body types that we see in the professional athlete realm as well. My belt size at the time was 44 inches, which means that the tape measure that I was using would be at 46 inches around my hips. I was eating 35 to 4,500 calories. I had very, very little energy. The reason I was eating more was an attempt to compensate for the things that were bothering me in my life, like my marks, money, and what I would do after I finished film school. I was in total chaos from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. I would sleep all evening and try to work all night, which led to really bad habits and a ton of self-destructing patterns. A year later, in 2006, I gained another 5 pounds, or 2 kilograms, and was 35% fat on the BMI scale. I had just started a construction job and was working 10 to 14 hours a day. I thought to myself that I must be burning more than enough calories and would become extremely strong and toned in no time at all. I would eat easily over 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. And even though my body more or less needed it on some days, I was eating complete junk. So as a result, my energy level was sucked dry. I started blaming everyone else for my life, my habits, and my problems. I was cussing like a drunken sailor. I was taking the Lord's name in vain. I would lock myself in my room, trying to forget my problems with my favorite drug and comfort, food. In 2010, here I am a few months after quitting the gym. I was 270 pounds at the time. I was big and I was strong. Sadly though, behind all that strength on the outside was a scared little boy with no confidence on the inside. I ballooned to more than 282 pounds a couple months later. In 2012, I had come down a little as I was determined to change my life. I had bounced back and forth between 265 and 255 pounds since 2010. I must have been eating around 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day at this time frame. I would shove fried foods into my mouth, not caring what other people thought. I had gone from interview to interview and felt like what my teachers, friends, enemies, and even my extended family had said to me all along, that I was going to be a failure. I always wanted to just run away from home, go to another country, or and escape with my mom and my sister and just get away from it all. See, I always had God in my life to one degree or another, but I felt like He had deserted me with all of these problems. And I had problems, let me tell you. I was very angry with Him. I felt like He had left me here and that I would never overcome anything. I would always be that stupid, dumb child that I was told I was always going to be. Then, after decades of pain and struggle, when I felt like I couldn't take it anymore, a deep voice from inside became clearer than I had ever heard it before. The voice inside of me kept prodding me towards Psalm 23. It's a book and chapter in the Bible, and you can check it out in the link below if you'd like. It basically told me that all of this was a process I was going through, and that I shouldn't run from my problems, but I should trust God to take care of them. I became more and more still in the following summer months of 2012. I started to feel the answer emerging from my depression, pain, and lifestyle. See, my whole life I had tried to do this on my own strength, with my own skills and my own smarts. I had tried to overcome my bad habits, my pain, and my torturers with my own abilities. When in reality, I was never strong enough, and I never will be able to be strong enough. One summer evening after work, when I was completely drained and on my knees, I cried out and said, "Lord, I give it all to you. All my strength, my life, everything, even my very next breath, it's all yours." Now let me pause right here. I still stumble and fall, and I keep making mistakes. I don't want to, but I keep doing them. But now I don't have to rely on my own power anymore to get through these things. Now, to those of you who don't believe in God, I can understand your total confusion, your raised eyebrow, or your rolling eyes. But please give me a moment to explain. I believe that God has given us purpose and design. We still have a choice if we'd like to follow it or not, but His ways are better. Like a good father, He wants the best for His kids. And when you have the Creator of the universe filling your heart with His love, passion, and desire that's perfectly suited for you, let me tell you, it's the best feeling in the world. See, God was always there for me, even when I was bullied, mentally bruised, and physically battered. He allowed me to go through these trials with school, family, finances, and other things, to allow me to be sitting here, right here, sharing something that maybe you can relate to at this very moment. Imagine, just like a movie, video game, or a book, being crafted or foretold about from the beginning of time to, in some way, be a part of something greater than yourself. That in some way you'd be able to leave your mark on mankind. See, I thought I was alone. I thought I was going to be destroyed by life's circumstances. While in reality, I was on a training ground with the best coach in the universe. At this point, if this series is not for you, I totally understand. I'm just sharing my journey and the steps that I've taken towards living a healthier lifestyle and having more confidence. By the end of that summer in 2012, I more or less totally gave my heart and spirit over to God. Now that spirit had renewed inside of me certain things that I had known from a long, long time. Like I needed to move my computer out of my room, not only to detoxify my mind from technology, but I felt that for years moving my computer out of my room would be the first step into overcoming my addiction to porn. Playing way too many video games and wasting so much precious time in general. There's another video link below that will take you to a TED Talk from Glasgow called The Great Porn Experiment by Gary Wilson, which really helped me make up my mind about my computer and where it should be. It's an amazing talk about wasting time, addiction, and from a non-godly perspective, in my opinion. Finally, in October 2012, after a long fight internally and with my family, I finally took my computer out of my room and I put it into the living room for more accountability. This created more time for me to think clearly, get more done, and pursue my calling, the feature film world. I started working more and wasting time less. I found that I was learning at an advanced rate, and for the first time in my life, quiet moments alone actually meant quiet moments. I don't know if you're out there and you don't understand what a quiet moment is, or you don't understand how I don't know what that is. Well, I still have ADD and strands of dyslexia, and it's still a chore for me to focus, even at the age of 28. To counter this, in November 2012, I decided to start walking in the mornings while doing my intense meditation. Little did I know that coupled with stretching, my body became more and more addicted to morning physical activities. And I noticed that by walking and my prayer timing and focusing on my projects in the morning, I was able to deflect my daily depression. It was so uplifting. I was facing the same problems that I had had for years, but dealing with them with such a calm and cool manner now. The next thing I changed was my eating. I was enjoying my spirit and mind changes. However, I wasn't seeing the physical results yet. I grew up in a house where what you get is what you eat, and you eat whatever is put in front of you because, to be honest with you, you just don't know where your next meal is going to come from. And that's the farmer mentality. However, for the most part, the farmer mentality doesn't apply to us today, unless you're in an extreme situations like I had been in from time to time. I had known about calories and portion control, but how could I tell my family that what they were doing was wrong? How could I take the joy away from my mother who loved to cook for us? How could I disrespect my entire family like that? But after a few weeks, other questions started to pop into my mind. What if I could change the way my family and my friends ate? What if I could change and help the attitudes and make them healthier? What if the long-term ramifications could be good for all of us? I was standing on the brink of everything in my life, and either I was going to fall back into pain, destruction, and unhealthy living, or I was going to wage war with my family and friends' uninformed habits. I decided on a cold evening on November 2012, on the 25th day, that I was going to wage war on fast food. I was going to wage war on sugary snacks and the lack of exercise and overeating meals that my family and my home had come accustomed to, and the cheap forms of escape were going to leave. Let me tell you, as my family and friends started to see these things, there was some resistance at first. But one by one, my family and friends, even my neighbors, started seeing a change. And after a few months, people started changing along with me, creating such a great support system for all of us. This was the boost I need. This felt so good, and I want to share this with other people. Last but not least, in December 2012, I started sleeping 6 to 7 hours a day and getting that good old REM sleep the doctor talks about. I was going to bed at 11:30 p.m. instead of 3:30 a.m. and my body was more alert than ever. I had more strength, and I wasn't turning food into energy late at night. I can never go back. I never want to go back to the way I used to live. So yeah, that takes me up to January 2013. That really is when I started documenting this, because before I never really thought that I was going to document this. This is just me changing some things, and then God took control, and now here I sit months later, and I've changed a lot. And I'm very thankful to God and the people who supported me this far. So you must be thinking, okay, Steve, I've heard you whine and complain about how hard your life was over the years. Now what? Well, in future episodes, I'll be presenting a food show called Mom's Monday Mealtime, and I'll be showing you the different meals and how I prepared them and how I changed from month to month. I'll be shooting them later in fall of 2013, so almost about a year after my transformation, and a couple months after I'm shooting this video. The only reason I did that is because I wanted to record it at a different time, and I hope as well, as you see the weigh-ins and then you see me doing different videos at the same time, you'll be able to see that my body does look a lot healthier and that I'm living proof that what I am eating is what I did become. On Wednesdays, I'll be presenting my weigh-in Wednesdays, talking about my week-to-week battle, the struggles and victories with my weight, and my mental health. And I was documenting this in real time throughout 2013, starting around January, February with pictures, and into March with videos. As you keep watching, you'll see the progression that goes on from week to week, including photos. But please, expect the 6 months to a year delay depending on when you actually watch this series. I know it sounds a little confusing right now, but that's just like any documentary or life-changing type show. You need time for it to develop and it to be polished. Finally, on Thursdays, I'll have my Thoughtful Thursdays with some cool methods, ideas, activities, foods, and anything cool about the body that helped me and might help you push forward you on your own journey. I'll be spending more and more time discussing why things worked for me and why they didn't. And because it's recorded 6 months to a year after, you'll definitely be able to see the results. Thank you so much for watching and spending all this time with me. I know we live in a culture that it's hard for people to take the time to watch this thing through, and you did it, and I thank you so much. And I just want to say that if you haven't started from the beginning of my lifestyle change, then I would suggest going back to the first video. It's only a couple episodes ago. And if this is your first video and you just want to keep going, that's fantastic too. I hope the whole of season 1 of Body, Mind, and Spirit will be something that you enjoy and that you can share with others. Always seek a professional's help and ask them if what you're doing and what you see, especially on the internet, is good or right for your body. And remember, that link to the documentary / presentation from TED is below in the description. It's a fascinating watch. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless. Oh yeah, and if you like what I'm doing, please tweet, tumble, like, share, thumbs up, plus pin, or do whatever you do, and please subscribe.